Anya Reyes, the reigning queen of Manila's social scene, lived on the dizzying heights of sheer nerve and perfectly printed paper. Her designer gowns, the penthouse in Makati, the limited edition Ames bags, all of it funded by flawless counterfeit 1,000 peso banga notes, crisp as a fresh typhoon morning. She wasn't just using the fake currency, she was stress testing it, flaunting it at every exclusive club and high-stakes poker game, daring the world to look closer. Anya loved the thrill more than the money itself. The fake peso notes were a brilliant dark secret, tucked into her Chanel wallet like a trophy. She had acquired the printing plates from a mysterious source, a shadowy figure who vanished as quickly as they appeared, leaving her with the power to materialize wealth. Tonight, she was at a fundraiser in BGC, sipping imported champagne and watching the city lights blur below. Her target was the elusive antique dealer, Mr. Herrera, known for his cash-only, no-questions-asked transactions. Anya planned to acquire a dazzling, diamond-encrusted Maria Clara pendant using a stack of her newly minted bills. The transaction was swift, discreet, and exhilarating. Herrera didn't bat an eye. Anya felt an intoxicating rush of invincibility. It was too easy. As she walked toward her chauffeured sedan, the crisp, humid Manila air seemed to carry a whisper of danger, but Anya dismissed it. She was the architect of her own illusion, and in her world, paper was power. This feeling was her greatest addiction. The following Tuesday, Anya decided to patronize a tiny, revered textile shop tucked away in the labyrinthine streets of Binondo. The shop, managed by a sharp-eyed woman everyone called Tita Lourdes, specialized in heirloom piña cloth. Anya wanted a custom gown that screamed Old Money Philippines, and only Tita Lourdes could execute the precise, delicate embroidery. The final price was exorbitant, and Anya paid with a heavy stack of her meticulously crafted 500 notes, ensuring the serial numbers were varied. She watched Tita Lourdes count the money, her movements slow and deliberate, illuminated by the dusty light filtering through the window. Mid-count, Tita Lourdes paused, her ancient fingers running over the paper. Her eyes, usually warm and welcoming, narrowed just slightly. She tapped one note against the wooden counter, a sound like a tiny gavel falling. "Anya," Tita Lourdes said, her voice softer than the fabric she sold, "these are immaculate, truly a piece of art." Anya's heart hammered a frantic rhythm against her ribs. Was this it? Had she been caught by an elderly seamstress? Tita Lourdes smiled, but the warmth didn't reach her eyes. "However," she continued, pushing one bill aside, "the alignment on this particular serial number, it is just slightly off the baseline. A millimeter, maybe less. A detail only an old woman who handles thousands of notes a day would notice." The note in question was one of Anya's earliest prints. Tita Lourdes kept the money, but the look Anya received was a chilling blend of recognition and warning. The illusion, Anya realized, had just cracked. For the next week, paranoia clung to Anya like the Manila humidity. Every ring of the doorbell, every silent stare from a waiter felt like an accusation. She drastically cut down her spending, using only legitimate cash she'd acquired through credit card cash advances. The meticulously stored stacks of fake currency in her vault felt less like a treasure and more like volatile explosives. The fear was a poison she hadn't anticipated. It was slowly eroding her carefully constructed facade. She even started avoiding her own social calendar, something previously unthinkable. The breakthrough, or break-in, came on a rainy afternoon. A private messenger, clad in a sleek black uniform, delivered a small, unmarked envelope to her doorman. Inside, tucked beneath a thick cream-colored stationery, was a single, crisp P1000 note.
It was one of her prints, absolutely identical to the ones in her vault. On the back, written in elegant, almost calligraphic script with crimson ink, were 3 chilling words: "The Paper Trail." There was no demand for money, no threat of police, just an intimate, devastating confirmation that someone knew her secret. The note wasn't a robbery attempt. It was a personal correspondence from a powerful, unseen entity. The sender wasn't a cop or a random victim. They were someone in the game, someone who understood the paper, the prints, and the unique pressure of that perfect banga note. Anya's blood ran cold. She wasn't just being watched. She was being evaluated.
Anya, abandoning all caution, put her extensive socialite network to work. Not to find the sender, but to trace the specific messenger service, which she knew specialized in delicate, high-profile deliveries. A discreet call to a friend's personal assistant yielded a name and a physical address in the teeming, crowded heart of Divisoria. It was a place where luxury and desperation collided in a symphony of commerce, the exact opposite of her rarefied BGC bubble. She disguised herself in clothes bought from a provincial mall, traded her designer sunglasses for large, dark frames, and drove herself to the location. The address led her to a genuine but visibly struggling textile and import shop, its windows dusty and its signage peeling. The front smelled of mothballs and despair. But in the back, behind a curtain of heavy velvet, was a world of startling, clinical contrast. The air was sterile, cooled by industrial-grade air conditioning, and filled with the low hum of precision machinery. She saw not silks and fabrics, but large, high-resolution printers, ultraviolet lamps, and stacks of uncut, unmarked paper with watermark impressions. This was not a small-time operation. This was a professional studio. More disturbing, the setup was far more advanced than the crude, aging equipment she used in her own penthouse. Her heart pounded as she realized the paper trail didn't lead to her downfall, but to her source. Her plates were not the originals. They were cast-offs from a master. As Anya stared at the sophisticated lithography equipment, a voice sliced through the silence, calm and annoyingly familiar. "It's always the details, isn't it? That specific shade of aquamarine on the background security pattern. Only I know the exact Pantone code." She spun around. Standing beside a large, custom-built dye sublimation machine was Julian Reyes, her cousin, the same Julian she considered a perpetually struggling artist, the one she routinely overlooked at family dinners. He was dressed in paint-splattered jeans, his eyes gleaming with a mixture of genius and resentment. "Julian, what is this? A gallery showing?" Anya stammered, recovering her socialite poise. Julian laughed, a dry, humorless sound. "It's the foundation of your entire life, Anya. I created the Banga note. Your printing plates? They were my practice runs, the ones with the minor alignment issues Tita Lourdes spotted. I allowed them to fall off a truck, hoping someone arrogant enough would use them to fund this, my real work." He gestured around the immaculate studio. The true scandal wasn't the counterfeit. It was the printer's identity. The Golden Girl was a mere pawn. "You were the perfect public stress test," Julian admitted, walking toward a large server rack. "Now the stress test is over. I need you to complete the funding cycle for the final project. You've spent my paper. Now you'll help me liquidate the rest and disappear." Julian explained that the counterfeit physical notes were never the end goal. They were merely the raw, untraceable capital needed to build a revolutionary, decentralized financial system. The sophisticated printing operation was a necessary smokescreen, requiring huge cash-only investments in bespoke servers, encryption hardware,
and specialized data centers, none of which could be purchased with traceable bank funds. The fake socialite life Anya had led was, unknowingly, the perfect distraction, diverting regulatory eyes toward luxury consumption rather than technological acquisition. "You were the loud, glittering decoy," Julian said flatly. He showed her the server rack, blinking with ominous, cool blue lights. "This is a private, untraceable digital ledger. No paper, no banks, no government control. The physical notes you love so much, they're a liability now. The struggle isn't about running from the police. It's about finishing the system and liquidating the paper before the central bank traces the sheer volume of circulation back to this studio." Anya was dumbfounded. Her crime had become a catalyst for a global financial revolution. Her goal, she now realized, wasn't to maintain the illusion, but to make the fake currency disappear completely, transforming it into a new, untouchable form of wealth. The title of socialite had to be traded for that of a silent, digital architect.
The next morning, the Central Bank of the Philippines announced a nationwide alert concerning an unprecedented surge in high-quality counterfeit P500 and P1000 notes. The news, though vague, sent a ripple of panic through the financial markets and directly into Anya's soul. She saw newscasters flashing blurry images of the specific notes she had used to pay for her jewelry and textiles. The clock was ticking not in hours, but in minutes. Julian had been right. The volume of paper was simply too great to ignore. The focus was now squarely on Manila's high-end cash transactions. Julian calmly outlined his final plan. They needed to launder the remaining physical inventory into untraceable goods and services, specifically charity donations. The final project needed only one last colossal investment, a deep-sea data cable access point, which required a single, massive cash payment to a shell corporation. Anya was their only access point to the world of high-value, cash-intensive events. She had to use her last remaining social leverage to complete her struggle. Create the largest, most chaotic, cash-only charity event Manila had ever seen, ensuring the remaining paper vanished into legitimate, non-refundable donations. Anya had to embrace the title of scapegoat, to become the ghost. She reluctantly agreed, realizing that her gilded life was already over, but her survival depended on her acting skills.
The Golden Girls' final performance was a spectacle, a massive, exclusive, cash-only auction masquerading as a gala for a sudden, obscure marine conservation charity. She used her most influential connections to ensure maximum attendance, encouraging guests to donate only high-denomination bills for tax anonymity. The remaining bulk of Julian's flawlessly printed bonga notes, tens of millions of pesos, were funneled discreetly into the event's collection boxes, mingling with genuine cash from unsuspecting donors. It was a controlled financial explosion. The chaos and sheer volume of the cash collected ensured that the money was swiftly pooled, counted incorrectly, and distributed to various sub-charities, making forensic tracing impossible. The goal was achieved. The fake currency was successfully liquidated and dispersed beyond recall, simultaneously funding the final, crucial hardware component for Julian's digital ledger. 2 days later, Anya Reyes vanished without a trace, leaving behind only rumors of a scandalous debt and a hasty flight to Europe. She didn't leave with suitcases full of pesos. She left with access to Julian's completed, untouchable digital asset ledger, the true new wealth, immune to bank scrutiny or paper trails. The socialite, who struggled to keep her paper illusion afloat,
finally succeeded by making her paper disappear entirely, achieving a quiet digital independence. The Golden Girl was gone, replaced by the silent, untouchable ghost of Manila.